In this video, I want to talk about what I consider some of the most overpriced LEGO Star Wars sets ever made. These are sets that were retailed at incredibly high prices without delivering the product or satisfaction you might hope for to get at this price point. Starting off much smaller though, I want to look at the Mandalorian's N1 microfighter. This is one of the latest microfighters released in 2023 and is also the most expensive single microfighter set ever made, retailing at $16. Microfighters are generally known for being affordable sets, including some fitting minifigure, and in recent years, these minifigures changed to high-quality, sought-after characters, which is perfect for a small set like this. Microfighters up to the start of 2023 retailed at $10 US, but out of nowhere, this N1 Starfighter, released in the second half of the year, was pushed to $16. This was quite ridiculous. As the build was the same size, we got a minifigure on par with the Boba Fett from the previous set, and the only difference was the Grogu minifigure included. That is, if you consider this as a minifigure in the first place. By this standard, LEGO is seemingly valuing Grogu as a $6 piece, which is absurd to say the least. Jumping a year later, we do learn that LEGO's new price for the standard microfighter is $13 instead of $10. But the overpricing of the N1 Starfighter still feels way too much. In 2018, LEGO released many Star Wars sets that are often overlooked or completely disliked. But one of these that was often talked about back in the day was the General Grievous's Combat Speeder. This was an interesting new Clone Wars styled set that released this year and had quite a few people really excited until they saw the price mark. Generally, $30 sets in this era of LEGO Star Wars were really solid sets at a very good price point, at least in my opinion. But this did not live up to that expectation. This set included 2 minifigures and a fairly decent looking speeder, all including only 157 pieces. And of course, price per piece isn't really a valid take anymore, but in this case it still shows how ridiculous this price is. Comparing it to another set released this year, Anakin's Jedi Starfighter, this one only retailed for $20. The difference in value really shows, and personally I'd even pay $30 for Anakin Starfighter before paying $30 for the Combat Speeder. The only real highlight in this set to me is the General Grievous minifigure, and this is a fairly affordable way of getting this sought after minifigure back in 2018. Now, of course, I have to talk about the most recent example of a severely overpriced set, and that is Ahsoka Tano's Jedi Interceptor that released in January of this year. Now, you will notice that this video covers many more recent and modern sets, as the overpricing problem wasn't as big several years ago, and more recent sets have this problem, at least in my opinion. This Interceptor is a perfect example of that. In general, Jedi Interceptors shouldn't be more than $30, as this was where these were priced for many years in the past. But of course, prices do have to go up sometimes, so I would expect maybe $35-ish for something like this, and be perfectly fine with it. But rather, we got this for $45, which is absurd for the standard Jedi Interceptor with only 3 minifigures included, one of which being an astromech droid. This is still the best Jedi Interceptor ever made and my favorite set of the year by far, but it is unfortunately a set that is getting a lot of backlash because of the new price, and to some a sign of greed from LEGO's side, as they knew people would love this set and decided to overcharge for it. At least that is how it is often viewed online, not necessarily true. Let me know what you think about the absurd price on this one down below. Around the same scale of sets is the Pirate Snub Fighter that released in 2023, based around the new Mandalorian season. This was a fairly good LEGO Star Wars set, one that some would even consider to be an underrated set, but regardless, I think this one can definitely be mentioned as one of the more overpriced LEGO Star Wars sets, specifically because of what is included and the topic that this one is based around. For one, nobody was really super excited about this set, and for the latest season of The Mandalorian, there were much better sets LEGO could have made over this one. The set includes a decent build for this fighter and two new pirate minifigures, which are cool, but nothing that anybody specifically wanted or might get that excited about. This retailed for $35, which in today's standard is unfortunately what we can expect from a set at this scale, perhaps even more today, but as this one doesn't include anything really special, I think no more than $30 should be asked for something like this. Many people argue online that it should be $25, which makes that extra $10 feel a lot worse. When researching some sets people in the community consider overpriced, I found that many people agree that the Justifier, the second and final set ever released for the Bad Batch, is quite overpriced and not worth the money, with a lack of satisfaction coming from the build and the minifigure selection as well. This was a set that retailed for $170 in 2022. And instantly that feels a bit much for this set, comparing it to something like the 2019 Millennium Falcon that was retailed at the same price, or even the 2023 Ghost and Phantom set that was $10 cheaper, and a larger, more exciting set still. The Justifier itself isn't the most notable and recognizable ship in universe, and there were so many better options for the Bad Batch show. And not many people liked this set. Despite being retailed at $170, according to Brickset, this is being sold on the aftermarket brand new and sealed at $112, almost $60 less than retail price, which is insane for a set that has been retired for over a year at this point. It almost feels like LEGO thought this might be an easy cash grab just for the Cad Bane minifigure included, but unfortunately that was not the case, and many people were utterly disappointed with this set and its price. The 25th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars had quite a few pricey sets, but a notable set that is often accused of being extremely overpriced is the Desert Skiff and Sarlacc pit. At first glance, I thought this was a great set, a perfect $60-ish playset and a great way to get some good minifigures. But no, the $60 that would be perfect for a set like this is rather an insane $80, way too much for a set like this. Regardless, the set is very good, and the best Sarlacc pit and Desert Skiff we have ever seen. We got 6 minifigures in this set, most notably the exclusive Nien Nunb for the 25th anniversary, and then beloved characters from the Desert Skiff scene in Return of the Jedi. Of course, the minifigures are complained about a bit as well, specifically Boba Fett, that does not include the mini cape we know and love, and especially in an expensive set like this, you would expect to see the top quality in every aspect. For the final set, I want to jump back several years, all the way to 2010. This year we saw quite a few good sets, one of the fan favorites being the TIE Defender. However, when looking at these prices, this one stood out a bit to me. With 2 minifigures, 304 pieces, this one retailed for $50, which in 2010 was a lot more than it is today, adjusted for inflation at around $70. In comparison, at the same time we got another $50 set, General Grievous's Starfighter, which is a larger set with more pieces, more minifigures, and at the time a more sought after ship maybe, as the TIE Defender only grew more popular after its retirement. I think this is an incredible set nonetheless, and I don't really like talking about older sets in terms of retail prices, as today these sets regardless are incredibly expensive to obtain in sealed condition. This one can easily go upwards of $150. So, that being said, let me know what you think is the most overpriced LEGO Star Wars set ever made. And then I will see you all in the next one. God bless you, and cheers.